welcome to the newest edition of AmiSights. I'm Ami Kassar, your host. My co-host, Lynn Ozer, aka SBA Queen, is not with me today, but I'm so excited to have my friend Lil Roberts, founder and CEO of Xendoo, with us all the way from South Florida, and also serving with me at the same time as president of the South Florida chapter of EO, which is a Herculean job. And Lil, thank you for your service and all that. And we're here to chat about life, entrepreneurship, finance, bookkeeping, accounting, Xendoo, what makes businesses tick, good bookkeeping, good recording, good accounting, good data, and whatever other good stuff we come up with today. So, Lil, thanks for being on the show.
Awesome. Thank you, Ami. A true honor to be with you. Just love your show and all the insights that you give to business owners across America. And you're a fellow EOer and president of your chapter. So we're both outgoing.
Thank you so much. No, I got one more year.
Oh, good for you.
It's all good. So, Lil,
Ami.
What makes you tick in business?
People, builder, solving problems.
And we all serve entrepreneurs. What you started Xendoo, and we'll talk about what Xendoo is as we go in, but what problem were you solving for when you started Xendoo?
I was solving for the fact that business owners can't get their financials in a timely way and have visibility to operate their business from the traditional CPA industry. Not to say that CPAs are bad, because CPAs are great, wonderful people. It's that they don't have the tools in that industry to be able to serve their customers in a timely manner. And so my background on me is serial entrepreneur, started out in systems integration business in the 80s, went into product businesses, manufacturing businesses, exited my last manufacturing business in 2015. And I wanted to build my next business. I had done startups. I had done, turnaround businesses that weren't doing well, acquired other businesses. And I wanted to build a business that will become a household brand. And the most important thing is I wanted to help small business owners. And so we're level setting the playing field. I'm not a CPA or an accountant. I'm just a fellow small business owner, entrepreneur, and want to level set the playing field by being able to deliver timely financials.
Let's now unwind a little bit and get into a debate. One of my favorite sayings is, Lil, if we were going to go to a basketball game tonight and see, was it the Miami Heat? And one of the players was cruising around the court with his shoelaces untied, how would you feel?
I feel he's going to fall.
How do you feel when you meet a business owner or an entrepreneur who doesn't have their financials under control?
We feel we want to help them. And so no judgment. It's a no judgment zone, and we want to help them.
So I agree that it's a no judgment zone, but I have that same nervousness feeling when I see an entrepreneur who has no handle on their financials, as I do if I would see someone running around the court with the basketball court with their shoelaces untied.
100%.
And the analogy is, and I actually have a slide for that on one of my presentations, but the analogy is meant to hopefully get people thinking. And one of the things that I would challenge people in our community to think about is EOS, Entrepreneur Operating System, is like religion for many people that we know. And I'm not knocking EOS or scaling up or Thrive or Drive or Rive or whatever the system is. But you can't operate your business, folks, without good bookkeeping and accounting.
1,000%.
And sometimes I think we have, because EOS is what's currently cool. EOS has, in some respects, replaced logic and bookkeeping and accounting can be boring, but if your books and your accounting aren't in order, I don't know how the hell you're making any decisions about what's important in your business.
So great point, Ami. So, if you think about the golf saying, right, drive for show and putt for dough, having your financials is the same thing. You can have a great drive, but you're going to circle around the green and you're never going to sink the putt if you don't have a handle on your financials and you don't have insight to that. Because, a lot of business owners will live off a cash flow and then the music stops and they go out of business. And so it's what we see on the journey of business owners is that we see that the first order of business for them is to get their business up and going and to have cash coming in, and that the financials are always an afterthought. And look, you can't get loans, you can't maximize your tax savings, you don't have visibility to know what's possible if you don't have your financials. And financials are boring to talk about. If we stay talking about financials, we're going to lose our audience more than likely. But there's parts and pieces to it that are the benefits. Like, let's talk about the benefits. If people that are on your podcast want to walk away with a couple of nuggets, what they should always be thinking, in my opinion, is how do I maximize the tax that I have to pay? So you need your business to be profitable. And if you ask an average business owner, if you say, hey, you buy a product that you resell and you pay $100 for it, and you want to have a 30% markup, how much do you sell it for? And most business owners are going to say, oh, you sell it for $130. Well, they're leaving money on the table then, because that's not a 30% markup. 30% markup is you sell it for $142. And so it's those kinds of little tweaks that business owners don't realize because they're not in business to play around with math, and most people don't like math. So the question that I say to business owners is that when you're running your business, your cash is your oxygen, and understanding your financials helps you to understand your cash, and you have to be profitable in order to be in business. Otherwise, why are you in business? Then you're just laundering money, right? So how do you go about doing that? And what are the stage gates, and what should a business owner be thinking about based on the stage of their business?
Another way, again, I'm going through all these analogies, but I used this the other day and I liked it. So we're all builders, right? Entrepreneurs are builders.
Yes.
And it's really fun. Okay, I'm going to build this house, and that door is going to be red, and that door is going to be yellow, and I'm going to choose this design for this door or this room, and I want this window there, and I want that window there, and I want this to look amazing and beautiful and grand and all this. People get excited about that stuff, right?
Yes.
But guess what? Without good plumbing or electrical wiring, ain't nothing going to work, is it?
Not at all.
Right. And no one's getting excited about deciding what decisions to make about the plumbing or the wiring, right?
True that.
But if you got it, I think we all have to think about that. And if you're not concentrating on your plumbing and your wiring, and it's universal, folks, like in the EO accelerator groups, about half their financials are wrong, from my experience.
In most businesses, half of the financials are wrong. When we see, to your point, people will go, oh yeah, they think that AI is accurate. And so QuickBooks is employing some AI that they're turning on automatically. And when we see books that come in from customers with QuickBooks, they're a disaster. And one of the main reasons is that you still need logic and discretion in accounting. So it won't be replaced by AI. And so if you buy from Amazon, and some of the products you buy from Amazon are cost of goods for your business, and some of the products you buy from Amazon are office supplies, whatever it was coded as the first time in QuickBooks is what it'll be coded as in perpetuity. And now, if you're not coding your cost of sales right, or your cost of goods, how do you truly know what your profit margin is? So, there's an old saying, and that is that to be really successful, hire people smarter than you, right? Fully believe in that. And that's for your team members, for the team that you're building in your company. And then if something is not your strong suit, so if you're not a tax expert, then hire a company to do your accounting for you, that's going to do your books. And there's two different types of books. Like business owners get this confused. They think somebody paying their bills and invoicing their customers is an accountant. They're not. That's just an internal, admin person in your company. And you should never, ever let anyone pay your bills, because when people let somebody pay their bills, 50% of all businesses are embezzled. Pure fact, 50% are embezzled. You know a bunch of people. I know a bunch of people. People get embezzled if they don't have control systems. So what you're hiring out on your accounting is you're hiring somebody that's giving you a very good analysis by monthly statements of the health check card of your business. What happened in your business last month? Did you make money? Did you leave money on the table? Were there areas you could tighten up? And how are you going to be trending for the next month? And that's what great accounting is. And hiring a professional, hire somebody that specializes in it, pay the money. You're not paying it, you're investing in yourself. You know that. How often do you get books for people that are doing a loan and they need the money and they need it quickly, and because they haven't taken care of having the proper financials done, that you can't help them?
All the time. All the time. I told a story to the listeners of one of the things I always say is a line of credit should be part of the furniture of your business.
Agree.
A line of credit should be there for seasonality, working capital, or unexpected emergencies.
100%.
Let's say you're a pizza shop on the New Jersey shore or down, and it's the middle of season. Okay, on a Friday, your air conditioning blows, and you need 50 grand to replace it by Monday. Okay, and let's say you were wise enough to do your taxes on time, report your income, do all these things, and you got a checkbook sitting there for your line of credit. You can use that, and then you can replace it when you're ready. If you don't, and you call a shop like mine, you say, Ami, I need 50 grand by Monday. Okay. What is the, and go find me money. What's that lender going to smell?
Desperation and 20% interest rate.
20% is for needing money, but money by Monday. 20% is nothing. 20% is nothing. You need money in 24 hours. You're talking 100 to 200% APRs.
Wow.
Okay. And who's the person to blame for that?
The person who's not prepared.
Who's not prepared. And so we all think when things are going well, okay, that life is grand and life is easy. Okay. I don't need a line of credit. I haven't needed it in 3 years. I go, do you have insurance policies? Like, it really ever all goes in a straight line.
100%. How much is your line of credit that you have?
$200,000, and I don't touch it, but it's there if I need it.
We have $1 million line of credit. We've never touched it.
Right, but you need it there just in case.
100%.
Now, let's flip the conversation around a little bit. What is a Xendoo thing?
The name or what we do?
Both.
So the name, well, first I'll start with what we do. So we're online bookkeeping and accounting. So we built a technology platform that is built on the Knowledge Work Cloud. So it's data-driven prioritization, workflow, and measurement. And it gives our customers a great portal with a lot of insights into their financials. But the product we deliver to them is their monthly financials and their balance sheet and income statement. The name Xendoo is, I wanted a name that was unique, that was curious, that was fun, that represented action. We deliver financial peace of mind. So Xendoo, peaceful action. Yeah, Xendoo.com. Have you seen our TV commercials?
I have not seen. So who do you service?
We service top 2 categories, cohorts of customers, e-com and professional services. Professional services, is massive, right? That could be anything. It's someone who's a digital marketer to IT managed services to professional wealth advisor, real estate brokers, anybody who's selling time, professional services. E-com on all the platforms we have customers, Shopify, Amazon, selling wholesale, Walmart, Target, all of that, eBay. And then we do a lot with franchise groups, but we cover, we're also in tech, tech SaaS companies, so software as a service companies that are scaling. We're seeing, input of influx of AI companies, of people that are starting out doing some AI stuff, and medical companies, and retail product and services. So we love small business owners. Figure anywhere from 4 to 500,000 at the lower end of the spectrum in revenue a year, up to about 50 million. We work with them, and the big thing that sets us apart from, say, the traditional CPAs don't have as much experience in all the various integrations that people need to connect into Xero and to QBO. So we handle the modern day business, the digital transformation businesses.
I love it. When did you start?
Started in first dollar of business was in 2017. And so we're in our 7th year. We have customers in 48 states and 13 countries. And, we're around 1,000 customers, and we want to grow to 15,000.
How do you handle customers in other countries? Aren't the bookkeeping, the accounting different there?
So they live in another country and have a US based business. So typically, they have maybe they're in the UK and they have an Amazon business there, and now they open up the US or Shopify business in the US, or digital marketing. So typically they're living in another country and they have a US based business. So they love us.
Lil, are you asking someone to change their accounting system when they join you with this technology, or is it sit on top of their accounting system?
So we sit on top. So if they have nothing, a lot of people on me will come in and they're running their business, from some type of an app on their phone for the flow of money, like to invoice customers. And then they're on a spreadsheet. So we'll take them from a spreadsheet and we'll put them into Xero or QBO. What's their preference? We prefer Xero, but whatever the customer's preference is. And then on the QBO side, a lot of people will come in and they already have a QuickBooks Online account, and they need somebody to do it for them, right? So all of our accountants are college degreed. Many of them have master's degrees. And we also do tax in-house as well. So we file tax returns as well.
Is it hard to find accountants these days?
So we just had a billboard up for 2 months, and so we're pretty fortunate. And, there's a lot more accountants coming into college now, like choosing that, so they see the value of that. But for a while there, yeah, it was tough finding accountants, but we have a lot of them. And we're in office. We believe in swivel chair collaboration. And so our team, helps each other a lot. And so a customer doesn't just get one accountant, like some companies they work with. If it's a single shingle CPA, they maybe have one accountant or two. You only get the aggregate of the combination of their knowledge. With Xendoo, you're getting the combined knowledge, the intellectual capital of a large group of accountants.
I've been in that office. There are a lot of them there, and they're swiveling chairs and they're working, they're collaborating, folks.
Exactly, right? And it doesn't look like an accounting company, it will look like a tech company.
No, who's your biggest competitor?
Biggest competitor would be Bench or Pilot. Both of them are venture cap backed, so we're a VC backed company. And Bench is out of Canada, and they only do cash basis. We do cash basis all the way through to full accrual. So we start at $395 a month, $395, $695, $995. But we have custom plans where it may be $4,000 or $5,000 a month, and we have fractional CFO work. Look, we bleed small business. We love small business owners. I'm building this company not because I'm an accountant or CPA. I'm a builder. We're builders, Ami. And it was a problem in the marketplace. And we deliver, the majority of our financials are delivered within 10 business days. And all of my team, come from families of small business owners. They understand, the life that business owners live. And, you miss the family stuff. You miss you're constantly on the run all day long, and we get that.
Totally. One of the things that was coming back a little bit, sometime last year, I did one of my hot seat sessions, and there was a EO member in there who I think was paying $8,000 a month for an EOS implementer, but their bookkeeping and accounting was behind a year. Their billing was behind 60 or 90 days, and their cash flow was completely screwed up. And in my typical, somewhat confrontational sense, I went out on one of the message boards and I said, whoever their EOS implementer is should be fired. They're conducting malpractice. This guy's not ready for an EOS implementer yet. He needs to stop and fix his bookkeeping and accounting, because if not, his whole machine is going to break. And that comment created quite a rage on the message boards about, oh, he would never have figured out his problem if it wasn't EOS, and he needed EOS to find the freedom, and EOS would hold somebody accountable for it, and yada, 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 yada. And in my opinion, that's just all a bunch of crap. And yes, I'm not knocking EOS or scaling up or any of these systems, but what I am saying to you folks out there, and Lil, I think you'll agree with me, is that if you don't have good baseline bookkeeping and accounting in order, the whole house can come crumbling down right in front of your nose before you even realize that you could said cheese.
1,000%. So I'll share with you without sharing who the customer was, but we had 3 weeks ago a new customer. They came in on a consult, right? So you go to the website and you click for a consult. They came in on a consult. They hadn't done their books in 5 years. Great business. IRS was coming in and was going to shut the business down, was going to put a lien on the business. And thank goodness the person found our company, because I don't think there's many companies that could have done what we did in 2 weeks and a day. So they had 2 weeks and 2 days to get 3 years of the books up to date. And we put a team of people on it. And my COO personally leaned in and spent 3 hours a day during this process with the team, and the team, multiple people on it. And we got that customer caught up in 2 weeks and a day. So their business wasn't shut down. And then after that, we went ahead and did the other 1.5 years that they needed, and now they're a customer. And, it's not by negligence of business owners. It's that, number one, 25% of all business owners are behind on their books. And it becomes a shameful thing for them when it shouldn't be. It's hard to be a business owner. You wear a ton of hats. The world happens to you no matter what. You come to work on me, and I come to work, and we have our things that we want to work on in our list of things to work on the business. And if your business includes people, life happens. And so emergencies happen. And to me, you hit it on the head. Business owners and entrepreneurs have to do the basics. You have to have the blocking and tackling. What wins the Super Bowl is having great basics. And the basics are, you have to have product market fit. You have to make sure that your product has a profit in it. And the profit is enough that's going to help you to sustain the business and build the business. You have to have the right people, and you have to have a visibility of your financials. And when you have those pillars in your business, then you're going to be successful. And if any one of those is weak, it's going to crumble.
100%. And you don't want to hear it until you hear it, right? And you don't, and like, I don't want to be just like hammering away at stuff, but I talk about all this stuff all the time. You should be able to, at any time, as an entrepreneur, turn on your cell phone, hit a button, see what's going on in your business, and see how you're doing. And if you can't, like, I have a friend, if she wants to report on her business, she has to call her CPA, and she usually gets the information back within 2 weeks.
Terrible.
And that is and that is just terrible. And you can't run your business like that. And whether it's the shoelace running around the basketball court or the wiring of the house, you absolutely have to have this stuff organized and in control, or you're going to get in trouble. And it's just, I couldn't push it hard. I couldn't emphasize it more.
Yeah, 100%.
And Lil, God bless you for coming up with a solution that helps with this stuff. And it's imperative and it's needed out there. So
Thank you, Ami. Well, look, we're hand in hand, right? You loan the money, you find people the oxygen.
I don't lend the money. I just have a lot of people on the other side of the cell phone who do.
So true. But you provide oxygen to the business owner. And when you're talking about your friend and the fact that she can't report on her business without calling her CPA and it's 2 weeks to get an answer, that's shameful. Because could any of us keep our customers if it took 2 weeks for us to give a customer an answer? But the
100%.
industry does that. And it's not that the CPAs don't want to give the answer in a timely way. It's just that there's all the information's in disparate places and they don't have the proper technology in their practices to do it.
100%. 100%. Lil, what's your biggest challenge in your business today? Let's change the topic now.
Ha! So biggest challenge in our business today really is figuring out the flywheel for customer growth. If we're, completely raw and honest about it all, which is the only way to be, that's the challenge. Like, I feel we have a really good handle on all the other areas of it, and we'll figure it out, right? How do we get that flywheel? We want to add 80 to 100 customers, new customers a month. And so getting to that level scale, we're figuring out.
It's not a straight line. I'm going to, yeah, let's talk about something else for a minute, because I think it's a fascinating topic. We just had our annual EO strategy summit 2 days ago. And I think it went really well. But here's a question. I want to see what you think about it. When you decide that you're going to work on a big problem, right? How quickly can you put KPIs to figuring that out?
How quickly?
Yeah. So you want to get to 80 to 100 customers. You said a week or a month? I forgot what you said.
A month.
And that's a great goal. But figuring out how to do that is going to be a lot of trial and error and a lot of messy stuff in the process. Are KPIs important while you go through that trial and error process, or quote unquote smart goals, right? And some people need those. They need stuff that they can measure. Or sometimes do we agree we're going to be in the muck for a little while we're trying to figure shit out?
100%. So I operate on a process that is idea, crawl, walk, run. So, all the technology that we build on that. And when I look at parts and pieces of things, we go by that way, right? So how do we get to the 80 to 100? Actually, I was just in a strategy session right before hopping on for our podcast. And it was around that, like, what do we need to do? What's the foundational layers at 30,000 foot that we need to do? And then what is the right way and the sequence that we need to see, that we need to action those? You can't eat the elephant all at once. You got to eat the elephant one bite at a time. But do you start, where do you start? And I think that the key point that you're talking about is that you have to be sensible about it, and you have to say what proves it. So my technique, like, we're working on a project, and I told my team was like, well, it's going to take us 6 weeks to get to the answer of this, if it's possible. And I'm like, that's bullshit. I'm not going to wait 6 weeks. I'm like, what makes it, what do we need to know it works? Just tell me what we need to know it works. So we get to that. And then I'm like, to get to that point, how fast, what are all the different ways that we can get to answering that question? And so from taking that
But you
approach,
might learn things in that exploration that will change the goalpost.
100%. And so that's the difference of innovation or being a look, entrepreneurs don't have rules, we have guidelines. And you have to be able to do that because you're going to be innovative and you know that you're not going to have all the information and you have to get it along the journey. And so if you are black and white and you think that you're going to do this and it's going to result in that, and it's going to result in that, and it's going to result in that, it's not going to work. So if I'm hearing you right, you went in and you had these SMART goals, and the SMART goals are supposed to tell your board if the KPIs are right. And I think that you're coming from a sense that you have a concept and you don't know if the concept is the end all, what you're going to arrive at, and you want some muck time to muck around.
We all, if you're going to really work in strategy, right? In strategy, you need muck time before you can get to KPIs. I think that's the point I'm trying to make.
And I agree with you 100%. You
Right.
have to, and great way to put it. I mean, Ami, you could write a book, Muck Time. And
there's a company called Muckrack, I think.
right. Yeah, but it's true. And so a lot of people don't do the muck time. And so what happens is it's that they think, oh, this is where I have to go. And they action so fast that, they run into the wrong building, right? You have to really identify, you may be in the neighborhood. So you're in the neighborhood of what you believe your goals are, but which house do you want to be in? Well, you got to drive up and down the street a little bit.
Once we had an EOS implementer helping us with EOS stuff, and she was demanding that I give her a percentage of, I told her I'm going to get the board placed by a certain date. And she's like, well, what percentage of the board are you going to have committed? I said, when I get something done, I get it done. She says, no, you need to commit to a exact percentage of what the board, so we can have a SMART goal, we can write it down. I go, okay. I go, take your marker, write this on the board. She's like, okay. And I go, write 87.36543%. And she wrote it. And then she started staring at me. I go, I agree to get that percentage done now. Piss off and leave me alone.
Yeah. So look, it's a difference. This is a valuable thing for business owners to think about, in the sense that, there's no right or wrong in anything, and we're all different. We bring who we are as a human into whatever business we're building, right? And then so you need to have the complement of the other people around you. And so if you're somebody who's really black and white, and such as your EOS implementer saying, no, we got to do this in steps, right? So she climbs the steps one step at a time, but maybe somebody else climbs the step 3 steps at a time because their legs are long. And so you have to think about who you are in the business, and you have to say, who else do you need? You need somebody that complements you and that's going to challenge you. You need healthy conflict, right? And so
you need to find language that speaks to both those types of people, right?
100%. And so look, my COO, CFO, started a book club the beginning of the year, and she made it mandatory that the management team had to read it, myself included. So there was going to be 6 of us. First book was Leadership and Self-Deception. Unbelievable book. We had 16 of our team members that read that book, and we had 3 meetings, 3 sections during the quarter. Second quarter is the 5 dysfunctions of a team. We had 25 of our company read that book. We're 43 or 44 people. 25 read that book, two sections. And we got the book done quick enough that now we're reading the 4 agreements. And so the reason why I say that is that your team needs all types of people. And you have to first identify who you are and how you show up. And if that person, the EOS, they're probably very anal. And so, they're going to miss things in their business because they're only looking right there so myopically. And in building businesses, you can't do that. You have to be a 360 view. So make sure you put the team members around.
100%. Have I ever told you about Have you ever heard of a guy? It's like Adidas, ADIZES.
No.
See, he has this motto. I love it. Right? He talks about. I mean, in some ways, these guys have all borrowed and stolen from each other. Okay, but like in the EOS world, they have the visionary and the integrator. I hate that. I think it's too simple. Okay,
You don't
so
like EOS, do you?
no, actually, it's not that I don't like EOS. I think people rely on it too heavily. I think it can be great, but I think if you look at EOS in a vacuum, just as religion,
Right.
I don't think it functions. Like I don't think EOS. I don't think EOS has much strategy to it.
Where Rockefeller Habits has more strategy.
More strategy to it.
Right. EOS is the execution component and accountability, and it's missing the strategy. So I think for the business owner, if the business owner has the strategy side, right, the entrepreneur is good in strategy, but they may not be as good in accountability, then I think EOS is your. And if you're an entrepreneur that's good with accountability, but you're not good with strategy, then you should be doing Rockefeller.
Saying because you're an accountant. You've heard of FIFO, first in, first out.
Yes.
Have you ever
I'm
heard of
not an accountant.
Have you ever heard of CISO?
No.
Shit in, shit out. So you can create rocks and accountability, but if you're putting shit into your rocks, you're going to get shit out.
Yep, 100%. So you need the strategy. I think at the end of the day, you need the strategy. But let's talk about this. Do you know, because like we live in such an exciting time in the world right now with technology and business. Not exciting as far as the human condition in the world because there's way too much hate. But let's just stay the playground of business. So entrepreneurs coming up in today's world, right? They don't have to do the things, you and I are older, they don't have to do the things that we did back in the day. You can move so much faster because of all the technology, Chat GPT and what AI does, whether it's Copilot or Gemini or whatever it is. You have to have the second order thinking. A lot of the young population doesn't have second order thinking. They don't teach it in school anymore. But if you have that combined with the tools of technology in today's world, oh my God, you can scale a business so fast. It's like so exciting. So exciting.
Very, very cool. Yeah. Lil Roberts, if our users and our listeners, visitors, hearers, whatever, want to come find out about Xendoo, where do they go?
They go to Xendoo.com, Xendoo.com. Free consultation. Come to our website, schedule a consult. We'd love to chat with you. We believe in helping business owners, even if they're not a fit for us, we're there to help them along the way, to answer a question, help them solve a problem that they may have in the world of their finances. So we'd love to talk to them.
Well, you're the best. It's been always a treat and fun to spend time with you. I always learn something new every time I talk with you.
Love you, Ami.
Love you too, and thank you so much. And keep on plugging, and we'll hope to see you soon.
Same. Thank you so much.